Hey everyone, Mike from LA1 here. Welcome back. Today we'll be talking about League One. My League One predictions is going to be the same format. We're going to start off first with talking about which teams, 4 teams are going to get relegated. 4 teams that I think are going to be shooing for the playoffs. And more at the same time, the 4 teams I believe could be in the threat for promotion. Let's go. First off, we gotta start with the bad news. The teams I believe that might be going down. The first one, and I think this one's kind of an obvious one, that's Northampton Town. Nothing much. I've not been very impressed with their transfer market. They kept the majority of their squad, and I think one of their best players left. So yeah, I put Northampton in here. Alright, the next team I could see taking the drop is Cheltenham. I mean, if one of your owners is under investigation and potentially going to jail, yeah, I think this season's a wash. Sorry, Cheltenham. Nothing personal. Another team that almost went down by the skin of their teeth, Cambridge United. I don't think Cambridge has enough to stay up, but I could be wrong. They proved me wrong last year, even though I did make a predictions video for that. And I missed there. So yeah, Cambridge and Cheltenham, easily, in my opinion, one of the 3 most likely teams to go down. But there's one team in particular. Yep, we gotta talk Wigan. Last year they went down because of a 6-point deduction. Now they have somewhat of a tougher task at hand, trying to escape relegation after getting an 8-point reduction. They did a lot of work. They got new ownership, but the big question is, can they overcome the 8-point reduction? Something tells me I'm putting them on here at the 4th spot because I think I'm really 50-50 on this one regarding Wigan. But then again, stranger things have happened with stable ownership, who I believe also owns the rugby team, which, what a coincidence, they share the same ground. So, yeah. So I think it's probably more likely, it's probably going to be Cheltenham, Cambridge, fuck. So basically my 4 picks for relegation to League 2 will be Cheltenham, Cambridge, Northampton, and Wigan, even though Wigan is a bit of a stretch. Alright, now it's time for the threat of playoffs. And there's my first pick right here, Lincoln City. The reason why, because they probably have a pretty nice squad going up here, and I do think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with, but then again, they seem to drop the ball every season, so hopefully they could be one of those teams that could make a move toward the playoffs. Another team that could be a threat for playoffs is none other than Peterborough. They made the playoffs last year, only to lose in a heartbreaking fashion to Sheffield Wednesday, who got promoted to the championship. That prediction video is coming today as well at the last minute because I didn't realize the first match starts tomorrow. So, what else can I say about Peterborough? I could see them potentially try. Their ultimate goal is to Wembley, but with a certain team on the rise as well, I'm not concerned, but I do think Peterborough has the experience now to see if they can try and make it to Wembley. So there's 2, Lincoln City and Peterborough. And here's another team that I could see being a threat for playoff, Portsmouth, arguably the second biggest club in League One, behind one of the teams I could see winning the whole league. We'll get to that shortly. I think Portsmouth could very well be one of the playoff favorites to win this if it was not for one of my 4 playoff teams that I could see winning this thing. Portsmouth, I would like to go there, and I can't wait to see the highlights. Hopefully, they don't drop the ball, and hopefully I'm not the kiss of death for Portsmouth. And the last team I could see being a threat for playoffs is Barnsley, speaking of. The runner-up in the League One playoffs. Hopefully they can light a spark as they head towards Wembley again. I had a really hard time deciding either to put Barnsley in the threat for playoffs or one of the favorites to win the division. But in the end, I put Barnsley in this position, but you're going to see why I'm going to put one of the teams that in the playoff hunt in a little bit. So, yep, despite the fact they have arguably the worst home kit in the league, not color-wise, mind you, design-wise. Why would they throw back to the 90s? If you're going to throw back 9, but why that one from the early 90s? Just doesn't age well. And the sad thing is, I might have to buy it because I really need a Barnsley. So, yep, Barnsley is my last team that could very well take it to Wembley in the playoffs. All right, now we get to a lot of you guys are probably thinking, who do you have going one of your favorites to win? And I know a lot of people are surprised that Mike, I'm surprised you did not put a certain team here. Well, the thing is, I've been very impressed with what Steve Evans has done. Steve Evans is a really good manager, but honestly, I could see them being mid-table, to be honest. Do I see them getting relegated, being sent back down? No. And in fact, I know a lot of people are saying Carlisle's going to go down, and to be honest, I honestly don't know. Honestly, the reason why I think Carlisle could very well stay up because Cambridge could very well drop the ball again. But then again, they got Cole Stockton, so I don't know. So yeah, I had a really hard time here. Anyway, let's talk League One. Who do I think very well could win League One? First off, we got to talk about the team that got recently relegated, Blackpool. Even though they lost one of their top players to Swansea and Steve Evans, I do think they got a good manager, and they did a very good job on the transfers. And honestly, I could see them being one of the top teams to make it here, make it to get the automatic promotions. And besides, this was the team I was considering who got the spot with playoffs along with Barnsley. So this was definitely a really hard decision on my end on this one. And speaking of teams in that area, we gotta talk about the team that won the Pizza Cup last year, Bolton Wanderers. Sure, losing James Trafford and Connor Bradley to the Premier League, that hurts. But they got a good young keeper, Nathan Baxter, on loan from Chelsea, who I think is a permanent now that I think about it. They got Gomes from Luton Town, and they added depth to areas they need, as well as getting new additions in spots they desperately need. And they got arguably one of the best managers in the league in Ian Everett, which is hard to believe because he has to go back to Blackpool because the last time he was in Blackpool, he got relegated as part of the Blackpool team in the Prem. So yeah, I think Bolton is clearly one of the favorites to get automatics. However, there are two teams in my view that could give them a run for their money along with Blackpool. The first one, we gotta have to talk about him, and that is Charlton Athletic. What else can I say? They signed Alfie May from Morecambe. That is a big win, and this will make Charlton a real big threat as they try to make their way back to the championship. That's all I can say. They got Alfie May. That's a big signing for them. Hopefully, it'll be ready for them to be taken seriously. And now, the other team that could be a threat for promotion, Derby County. Hard to believe just a few short years ago, they're on the verge of liquidation. And now, they hit the reset button with new stable owners. Got a solid manager after losing Wayne Rooney to DC United of all places. And honestly, I really like some of these signings these guys got, which is why I do think Derby could be one of the favorites next to Bolton to make it. But on the other hand, I could very well see Reading going in, which honestly, I could see Reading is an unpredictable side right now in my view. So I'm really curious to see how League One's going to go. I'll see you guys next time. See you guys for the championship.